back. Holy cow, summer went by way too quickly. The beginning of any new school year is exciting, chaotic, fun, and such a mix of emotions. And we set ourselves, our classrooms, and our students up for success. Likely, you are back in the classroom and in the thick of it. So we thank you for taking your time out of your busy day to listen to our podcast. Before we dive into a preview of season 2, we would like to take some time to introduce who we exactly are after our summer away. There are two of us who will be the regular voices you hear on the podcast. Both of us met through the Chippewa River Writing Project, which is a satellite of the National Writing Project in Michigan. My name is Becky Schwartz, and my co-host and co-facilitator of this podcast is Lyndsay Young. I'm going to let her introduce herself first.
Thank you, Becky. As Becky said, my name is Lyndsay Young, and I have taught in grades 3 through 8 over my 11 years of teaching. And just saying 11 years makes me feel extremely old. I feel like maybe I'm in my 3rd year teaching, but it blows my mind that I'm in year 11. I feel like a lot of teachers feel that way, like me. It just feels like it's gone by so fast. So the first 5 years of my career were spent in the upper elementary, specifically in 5th and 6th grade. I actually served as a special education co-teacher on a team of 3 gen ed teachers. Since then, I've transitioned between 3rd and 4th grade as the ELA teacher. I actually start in 3rd grade with my students and loop up to 4th grade with them. My credentials, I have a CI endorsement, ZA early childhood endorsement, and a BR reading specialist degree. The organizations that I'm a part of are the Chippewa Writing Project's leadership team since 2020 and Michigan Reading Association since 2018. So in regards to my time at CRWP, CRWP has truly been a saving grace for me over the past few years, providing opportunities to participate in and professional development with so many outstanding leaders across the country is such a worthwhile experience.
Thanks, Lyndsay. And just like Lyndsay, this is my 11th year of teaching. And like she said, my name is Becky Schwartz. I teach high school for a lot of reasons, and it's mostly because sarcasm is my second language, and I don't know if I could get away with it in any other grade level. But Lyndsay, you hit on a really good point. I think a lot of older teachers or veteran teachers, we don't really feel like we are veterans, because I think one of the big mistakes or kind of just mystiques about teaching is that a lot of people think when you get to a X number of years, you're going to have every single answer to the issues that are presented to you. And really, a lot of it just comes down to kind of some experience with just being able to handle the stress and the decision making that comes your way. So I kind of want to talk about a little bit about my career here. But in my career, I've mostly taught grades 10 through 12 in English, but I do have my certifications in history, social studies, and education technology. And sometimes I do get a surprise here and there. Like this year, I kind of feel like a first-year teacher because I was given a section of government and economics in our district, which is taught mostly at the 9th grade. And although I've taught 9th grade before, I haven't taught government and economics. So I'm really kind of learning that as I go. It's an experience. I haven't not taught something in quite a few years. So it's a little bit of a humbling experience to kind of remember. And in that work, I've kind of really been thinking about some of the stuff that young teachers go through and how important it was for me to have found the writing project quite as early as I did. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I am a Saginaw Valley State University alum. That's where I got my master's degree in instructional technology as well. I've been a teacher consultant, or TC, with the Chippewa River Writing Project, or CRWP as we're going to call it an awful lot, since 2015. And that's when I did my summer institute to become a TC. Lyndsay and I met through kind of a part where we became a part of the leadership team in 2020. And I'm extremely blessed, as I said, to have found that writing project. The professional development opportunities, the resources, the network that you build, especially for me in the first third of my teaching career, that's been absolutely indispensable. It gets you access to the National Writing Project Network, all these teachers, and these kind of made resources, and the mentorship of a lot of people who've done best practices before you and are willing to share and mentor and help you. That's been huge. So you kind of create a family both at the NWP level and in your own individual site. And that's been truly unbelievable to me. I'm thankful for them each and every day. I just don't think I'd be the teacher that I am today if it wasn't for finding the National Writing Project. And one of the things we can talk about later on in this season is how to become connected with a National Writing Project or a site, if that's something you guys are interested in. We're going to talk about how you can contact us at the end of the episode, but that's definitely something we'd be willing to talk about and kind of help you get connected with. So without further ado, really, before we kind of talk about what we're going to talk about this season, we want to do our land acknowledgement because that's so incredibly important. The Chippewa River Writing Project is based at Central Michigan University, located in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Founded in 1892 as Central Michigan Normal School, CMU is located on the ancestral grounds of the Council of Three Fires, the Anishinaabe, of whom the Saginaw Chippewa Nation is one. Seated under duress in the 1855 and 1864 treaties, this land was named the Isabella Indian Reservation and remains part of the homeland of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe. It is our responsibility to care for this land and its people, and to be intentional and inclusive in our work. We recognize that this acknowledgement is only meaningful when combined with purposeful actions and genuine relationships that honor the land and its people. These actions include abdicating for the histories, cultures, languages, and the territorial rights of historic Indigenous peoples. As our writing project grows to include members from outside Mount Pleasant, we invite all CRWP members to recognize their own connection to the lands on which they reside and honor their own responsibilities to the original keepers of those lands. Lyndsay and I cannot believe that we've made it to season 2 of this podcast. We've done a lot of learning through this process, and so far are really grateful for this journey. When it was an idea that we decided to run with 2 years ago, we weren't even sure if we would ever get it off the ground, but this journey's been so worth it for us. There are some changes coming this season based off what we've learned and worked with last season. This podcast is very much like a classroom. We're always updating, changing, and as we learn and reflect, we come up with some better ideas of how to do things. So we're still going to be putting out an episode every month on the 15th. Our first content episode is going to drop October 15th, 2024. We wish we could make it a lot faster. In fact, we'd love to make it a lot faster and do a lot more with our podcast, but Lyndsay and I are both full-time classroom teachers and have leadership roles in our districts. So we work really kind of as fast as we can. So we are also bringing on several guest speakers this season. Some episodes are going to have more than one speaker on them besides us, and we have a wide variety of perspectives this season. This is going to help you get a wider perspective on this issue as well. Because of the nature of it, some of our episodes could become multi-parts because we're trying to keep these episodes kind of bite-sized PD for you. And now Lyndsay gets the fun part. She gets to introduce the topic and give an overview of our season. So go ahead and take it away, Lynds.
This season, we will focus on the topic of independent reading in the classroom, which impacts every teacher K through 12. So as educators, we understand that when students engage in independent reading, it benefits not only their reading and writing skills, but also their overall development. Studies have shown that independent reading enhances a child's growth in various areas. These areas include language acquisition, concentration, analytical thinking skills, empathy, and it reduces stress and anxiety. I know for me that when I am reading, my stress level significantly decreases. But the real question is, how do we implement independent reading effectively in our own classrooms? So hopefully our season on independent reading aims and will answer those questions for you. Each episode will cover a different aspect of independent reading, such as science and importance of independent reading, creating an independent reading culture, formative assessments in independent reading, summative assessments with independent reading, and my absolute favorite, the book recommendations for further reading in your classroom. Hopefully our episodes will provide some ideas for you to implement your independent reading successfully and effectively. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode. We'll be back next month with our first official content episode of the series, The Science and Importance of Independent Reading. If you want to let us know how we're doing, or if you have any ideas of what we should cover next, reach out to us anytime through our email, ignitecrwppodcast383@gmail.com. We would absolutely love to hear from you. Again, this is really new for us. We're only on our second season, and I know there's still a lot we have to learn and still a lot of kinks we're working out. So any feedback we could get will help us to better give you the content that you're looking for. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter through the Chippewa River Writing Project pages. We are at Chippewa River WP. So fire up, and we'll see you soon.